Thank God for X39.
My skin become younger, softer, firmer.
It's been really amazing.
I love X39 because it really helped reduce the inflammation in my knee. I can now run again. Woohoo!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Tuesday evening introduction to LifeWave, a very special company where we're going to talk about the company, the products, the technology, the founder, and then we're going to bring on a special guest, and then we turn things over to you. We do have that presentation. I am your co-host, Robin Blank-Mascari, along with my partner, Gregory, and we are ready to jump. There he is. Hey. We're ready to jump in and get started. So, honey, over to you to do that wonderful presentation.
Great. Well, good evening, everyone. Excited to talk to you about X39 and this historic breakthrough in affordable stem cell technology. I'm going to share my screen and share a short PowerPoint with you. So hold on just one moment here and let the show begin. Okay, we're going to talk about activating your stem cells, and we're going to talk about the stem cell revolution. But before we do, I just want to share with you a kind of an aha moment I had a number of years ago. I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older, younger, and I bet you many of you can relate to that. Well, if anything were possible, let me ask you a question. What's one thing you would choose to experience differently in your health? Or in someone you love, or what if you could change the trajectory of aging? Sound like a pretty cool offer? And what difference would that make for you or them if you could, impact someone's health or your own health, or change the trajectory of your aging and live younger, longer? Well, I just want to make a quick note that our products are not designed or intended to heal, treat, diagnose any disease. They do, however, help our body to get into a more regenerative mode, and many times wonderful things then start to happen. So let's talk about the stem cell revolution, because we believe everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And we know that stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that repairs and regenerates damaged cells in every organ, gland, bone, muscle, skin, every tissue in our body. The sad thing is, here's the problem. The older we get, the less stem cells we have. By age 60, only a small percentage remain, and the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And that's probably why, a young lad falls down, skins his knee, and 3 days later, the scab falls off. Grandma falls down, skins her knee, breaks her hip, and she's lucky if she ever gets out of the hospital. That's because by grandma's age, there aren't very many stem cells left. Well, what about stem cell injections? They become quite popular, but you know what? They're quite expensive. They can be painful, risky, controversial. And you know what? You could spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, no guaranteed results. Well, we've got some good news for you here tonight, because you can look, feel, perform, and live younger with a historic breakthrough in stem cell activation. It's a new wearable technology in patch form. It's affordable, it's safe, it's non-invasive, it's drug-free, and it's a patented form of phototherapy, which uses very specific frequencies of light to increase and improve our stem cell activity. Now, this is the brainchild of David Schmidt, our visionary founder and CEO, and David has been not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, but he's a genius inventor with over 130 patents and patent pendings, and he's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years. Now, David's already conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the efficacy of our LifeWave phototherapy products, and many more studies are always in the works, because this is a very science-based company. In fact, it's now an 18-year-old. We just had our 18-year anniversary. I need to change this slide. 18-year-old advanced technology company focused in the area of health sciences with the intention and vision of enhancing and extending life. Now, it was founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology David developed for Navy SEALs to increase their strength, stamina, and performance without the use of drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. And it turned out to be so effective, now used by world-class athletes around the world. We have corporate headquarters, laboratory manufacturing in California, Utah, and Ireland. And we've got global distribution to over 75 countries from our 15 global distribution centers. And you know what? The word is getting out. LifeWave patches are now used by pro and amateur athletes around the world in almost every sport. The media has begun to notice, and you know what? You might too. If you look carefully at some of your favorite athletes and you see these auspicious little white, Band-Aid looking patches on their body, that's LifeWave. Okay. So let's talk briefly how this amazing technology actually works. And it's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And LifeWave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. And when they're applied or near our body, they're activated by our body heat and then begin to emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulate very targeted biochemical, biological responses in our body. Again, this is known as photobiomodulation, and it is the basis of our LifeWave phototherapy patches. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause very specific changes within our body. For example, when we go out in the sun, a specific frequency of light causes our body to manufacture vitamin D. We don't get a vitamin D download from the sun. We get a light frequency download, and it stimulates our skin to produce vitamin D. Likewise, another frequency of light, UV, causes our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. Well, LifeWave's patented technology is based on the same rock-solid, widely recognized scientific principle. Now, for the last 14 years, our focus has been in the field of anti-aging and regenerative science. And a little over 3 years ago, LifeWave released to the global market the X39 stem cell activation patch, which truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell activation. Some are calling this the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science because we're actually doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies and big pharma have not been able to do. And that's because X39 activates a very specific copper peptide that is proven to activate our body's own stem cells. In addition, it alters gene expression for thousands of our genes towards a younger and more vibrant you. And I don't care what age you are, as long as, if you're over 12 years old, it probably sounds pretty good to you. So X39 certainly is a game changer. It activates stem cells through a true scientific breakthrough. And our founder and genius inventor, David Schmidt, says, this is my greatest accomplishment yet, with an emphasis on yet, because David spends more time in the laboratory than he does in an office. So yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies. And yes, we have tremendous field results proving that X39 is actually turning back our biological clock, helping people to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And for us baby boomers, that's very, very exciting news. So that's my little tee it up front end of the presentation, Robin. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and bow out and see if our doctor is here, and I'll see if I can find her and let her in.
Okay, well, thank you, Gregory. That was wonderful. I love listening to that. And so now I get to introduce our doctor for the evening. We actually have a rotation of different practitioners, and we are very blessed with LifeWave to have so many healthcare practitioners that love LifeWave, love our products, and they love it because it has science behind it. And they really love it because it works and it enhances the clinical outcome of what they're able to do. So have you found Dr. Barbara? Okay, so I get to introduce Dr. Barbara Jennings. She's been with us for several years. She's a chiropractor out of Fort Collins, Colorado, and she does many things that expand her chiropractic business. I actually took a 4-month detox program from her, and I was really amazed. And I got an education of a lifetime. And I know that if someone needs help, if they have a serious situation, I send them to Dr. Barbara. And she's a mother with 7 children. She just got back today from Florida. And so I'm thrilled to have her with us. She teaches Nia. She's a classical pianist and a gem in our world. Welcome back. You're wearing warm clothes. I bet that's different than what you were wearing. Welcome.
Florida was cold. I wore a jacket the whole time.
Oh my goodness. Did you have fun?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Well, welcome back. We're glad.
It was for my daughter.
Oh, you what?
It was for my daughter, her first horse training clinic.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'll want to hear more later. So let's jump in, Dr. Barbara. You've been with LifeWave for several years now. And what is it about LifeWave that got you excited?
2 things. Number one, the ability for me to offer stem cell, some kind of improvement in stem cells or more stem cells to my patients without having to refer them to injections that are $10,000 or $15,000. And number 2, that they work. I tried them out on myself and my husband first, and we both have great experiences and testimonials of our own. And then I started trying them out on a few patients and had amazing experiences. And so, I've been using them in my office now almost 3 years.
Wow. Well, you are the master of handling pain with IceWave, and there's a video that we have available on Live Younger products. That's fabulous. And since I started using that, I've had even better success with IceWave. So do you want to share a quick story, one of your favorites of something that really surprised you, or how the patches work for a patient or your family?
Yeah, so on that topic of pain, one of the first people I tried it on was a man in his early 60s, has a big tummy, right? He's a truck driver and spends a lot of time in his truck. He's not like a long haul truck driver, but his job is mostly in a truck. And he has chronic low back pain, and he couldn't lean over to tie his shoes. And so he would come in, and I adjust his low back and his neck and adjust everything. And he feels better after an adjustment. But I decided to try IceWave, the pain relief patches on him. And before I adjusted him, and I put it on him. And then he sat down, he leaned over, he touched his shoes, and he just said, "No way, no way." So guess what he always keeps in his truck now?
I bet.
Yeah.
It's so fun that we can not just relieve pain, but give people hope that the future can be brighter, and we don't have to go that trajectory that we've been ingrained in. And so,
Right.
Yeah, which is so
give people hope and give people tools that they can have at the moment of need at home.
Yeah.
And, you want to have IceWave on hand so that when you're in pain, you don't go order it and wait 5 days. You have it.
I keep it with me at all times, never leave home without it. You never know when something's going to happen.
That's
I
right.
just returned from a lovely trip to Costa Rica, and had a little incident being flipped in a tube down the rapids and jammed my toe, and I had my patches instant, put it on, and it's amazing how fast it healed. It was crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't
they're
want to go on
wonderful.
my vacation.
Wonderful tool.
It's great. So who are these patches for, Dr. Barbara, and who aren't they for?
Patches are for just about everyone. Anyone who wants to feel better, look better, heal faster, sleep better, have more energy. So really there's almost nobody who shouldn't be using them. There's only two small groups. One is if you've had an organ transplant, because these do actually enhance your immune system. And so organ transplant recipients are not recommended to use them. And the other is a person actively undergoing chemotherapy. Use it before and after, just not during.
So thank you for that. So could you explain what non-transdermal means? And
Yeah, so non-transdermal means there's nothing in the patch that will be absorbed into your skin. There's no medicine. There's nothing that's going to soak in. They are only reflective. So they reflect light back into your skin. The light comes from you. And so it's your body heat that creates that infrared light that's reflected right back into your skin with no medicine whatsoever.
So that makes it safe.
Makes it very safe, and there's no worries that it may interfere with any medications.
That's so wonderful to have something that just about anybody can use. And, I hear from people and I say, well, how long is it going to take for me to really feel this or notice some benefit of any kind?
Yeah, it's just such a huge variable, because that answer, it really is maybe first day, maybe not for 3 or 4 months, and anywhere in between. But what you can know is that they're working. Whether you feel it in the first week or the first month or the first 2 months or not, it is still working. Because you don't get to decide where your body's going to send and use those stem cells first or second, right? Your body's own wisdom and own priority system is going to send and repair with those stem cells in its own order. And that's always in the order of most life-threatening, right? Human bodies are in the business of survival. And so whatever is the biggest threat to that, and it may be something you can't feel in your cardiovascular system or in your brain or your nervous system. On the other hand, it may be very noticeable in just a few days.
How exciting. How long do you recommend people try the patches before they make a serious decision to continue?
Yeah, well, for that reason, because it may take several weeks, it may take a few months. I tell people, please give them 3 to 4 months try.
Beautiful.
Yes. Plus, you want time, right? Your body can't replace every damaged cell in 1 week. Different parts of your body have different rates of turnover, where the old cells get removed and replaced with new ones. And so you want to work with your body and how your body works naturally. And that is with some time.
Right. Our bodies are very wise, and those stem cells are very wise.
Very wise.
And they're always doing the work. So if someone, does anyone experience anything negative when they try this technology?
A very few people may feel something negative. Well, let me reframe that. It seems negative, but really it's a positive.
It's working.
That's right. If you feel something that seems negative, like, oh, a symptom came back, or this is actually making my knee worse, then what that means is those old cells, they're being sloughed off, they're being replaced. And at the beginning, that may cause more inflammation in that spot. But let the body do its work and clean it up and remove it, and it will get better. So if that happens, it's certainly not the majority of people, but if it does, stick with it and just know that's not going to last very long. I've had people, say it lasted one day. I've had probably the longest I've heard something felt worse was 2 weeks.
Okay. So it's a really good thing because it's working. I mean, I actually had that happen. I had an old injury in my upper arm or the insertion point right here, and pain came back. And I called Dr. Nicholas and said, "What is going on?" He goes, "It's great. It's working." And I went, "It doesn't feel good." He goes, "Well, just take the patch off for a while," which was really wonderful. And then I got the relief and I gradually built up to the 12 hours. So that's the next question. What are the ideal conditions to get the maximum benefit of utilizing this technology?
Well, one is time. So first of all, being consistent, use it every day. And second is all the patches are intended to be worn for 12 hours, 12 hours on the body, 12 hours off the body to allow your body a break from that particular light frequency that's stimulating your skin. And that's so your body just doesn't adapt. If you adapt, then they're going to become less effective.
Okay.
So
Makes
about
sense.
equal time on and off the body, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And then, so the inventor, David Schmidt, teaches us that it's important to stay hydrated. They work better. Everything works better in a body that's well hydrated. And so drinking the appropriate amount of water, having enough minerals in your diet, whether you eat them in food or take a supplement, it's really important to have minerals so you can absorb the water you drink. And then you need copper. You need copper in your diet. And that, again, preferably from food. And you can just Google foods high in copper and eat those on a regular basis, or you can find a safe supplement of copper. And that reason is because the stem cells don't actually directly activate, the patches don't directly activate stem cells. They indirectly activate stem cells. What they do directly is activate this copper peptide that Gregory mentioned at the beginning. And after that copper peptide has increased, then that is what stimulates the production of more new stem cells.
So the patches should really be called copper peptide patches.
Right. And then nobody knows what that means.
Right.
Or nobody's interested.
All right. They just don't know, but boy, we're making it known. So anything else you want to share with people before we open up to some stories and questions?
I think the biggest thing is to know that you need to give it time. You may get a short term, not short term, but a miracle within a few days, but more people need more time. And if you've been wearing it for 10 weeks and you still feel nothing, great. It's still working. Wear it for 5 more weeks.
Yeah, I actually had someone that had a shoulder injury, and it was 7 weeks before she got relief. And then it was dramatic, but staying with it is key. So thank you for that. So let's turn
I think one last thing that I like, because people are usually comparing this to the other options, right? Like, yes, I'm looking into stem cells. We've been looking into different therapies and injections. And, I realized one day that these patches, when you're looking at the options of how do I increase stem cells, how do I increase my ability, my body's ability to just heal and repair and get better. If you're looking at injections, they're one injection into one joint, one time, right? With a very large cost, unless you're going to buy lots, pay for lots of injections, but usually it's going to be one injection into one shoulder, one time. then you get those stem cells in that area and you hope they stick. You hope that it works. But with these patches, if you wear them every day, that's why consistency is important. You stimulate your body to make more each day. And the amount of stem cells increases. And guess what? It's not only in one shoulder. This is everywhere. It's everywhere in your body. So you get a long-term benefit and a whole body systemic effect and a fraction of the cost with a much higher rate of success. So it's just a no-brainer.
It is a no-brainer. And I was one of those people that was doing the research, and we were ready to dish out $12,500 for a single injection with no guarantee when a friend called and said, there's a new technology that activates your own younger stem cells with light. And I went, how fast can I get it?
Yep.
And I put it here, and a week later, my knee pain was gone. And I love what you were just saying, because it is cumulative over time. Things get better and better and better, don't they?
Yeah, your body has a much longer time to not only make, but use the stem cells. And instead of saying, hey, just this shoulder, your body might say, but what about this really important thing over here? You know, that's a lot more important to your survival than a sore shoulder.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, let's jump in and see what our guests have to say tonight. And
right.
so Ravel says the brother of a busy realtor is experiencing kidney failure. He was told he'd soon need to go on dialysis. What do you recommend for patches?
X39 and glutathione. I would put a glutathione on each kidney, or at least on the kidney meridian. And I would also use Eon.
Beautiful.
For sure.
And we just heard a story recently of an 83-year-old woman who had been on dialysis for 3 years, and her doctor actually took her off. And I heard another story of a nephrologist saying, I've never done this before. I'm taking you from 3 times a week to once. So what's going on is those damaged cells are getting healthy replacement cells, aren't they?
Yep.
So it's, and those 3 patches that you mentioned, Dr. Barbara, they seem to be foundational for just about any condition, don't they?
Yeah. If we have enough questions, you'll probably hear those 3 a lot.
Yeah. Okay. It's different than Western medicine where you do a this for that. It's we're giving these frequencies so the body can do the miracle that it is, come back to health and homeostasis.
And the function of these things, what will they do for your body in general, not just that particular symptom?
Okay. So Rich is saying, what patches would you recommend for someone that's got some herniation on L5 and S1?
So definitely I would put X39 right on it. And I would also, the same ones I would do glutathione, Eon, X39, and Ice Wave.
There's probably some pain in there.
Yeah, for Ice Wave. So L5S1, I'd put the brown one right on the pain and then take the white one, just move it up the spine and see if any point up the spine is going to help, even up on the neck. And if it doesn't, then try going down on the back of a thigh on the right, on the back of the thigh on the left, and see if one of those places.
Very interesting. How long should they hold it there when they're moving it around?
30 seconds.
Okay. So, and then people will know it works that fast. You will know.
Yeah. As soon as they feel a change and an improvement. So whatever they feel in a, usually it's very quick. It's usually within 30 seconds in my experience. Whatever they feel then is going to improve over the next several hours.
Great. great. Thank you. Thank you. So Shirley, I don't know if we answered your question, but let's see. Kidneys hurt problem leading towards dialysis. This must be kidney night. Should I put X39 directly on both kidneys or anything else?
If both kidneys are failing, I would. You can definitely use more than one at a time.
Great, great. And then again, like you recommended before, glutathione and Eon. Okay.
Yes.
So Rainey is saying, a woman I know wore Eon under her belly and the skin under the patch showed bruising. The next day put Eon on her foot as another placement and it swelled her foot. What's going on? Any thoughts?
I've never seen that before.
Me neither.
I don't know. So what I would do on the chance that she's reacting to the adhesive, I would apply the adhesive to the clothing that's over the spot you want the patch to be.
Okay.
And see if that makes a difference, because both sides of the patch work equally well. It doesn't have to be adhesive on your skin.
That's
Put
so
it
amazing.
in your sock, put
It's
it
amazing.
inside your underwear, waistband, put it wherever. Shirt collar works great.
It's crazy that it works through clothes. I mean, people get wowed by that one. Okay.
Yeah, well, what I would do, I would put it on the inside of the clothes. So the patch is still facing and touching your skin.
But not sticking
But it's
to
just
the skin.
right. So I would put it right here on the back of my shirt collar, so it's touching the non-sticky side is still touching my skin.
No. Great. Yeah, we just changed the patches for our dog. Instead of putting it on the dog tag, we put it on the inside of the collar.
Mhm.
So, okay, Heidi, would you always recommend the use of X39 before individual use of Ice Wave or Nirvana or SP6 initially versus each in an isolated experience? So X39 only or altogether?
So not necessarily asking about all four of those at the same time, just some examples. I think that depends. As a doctor, well, first of all, if somebody's in pain, use Ice Wave, get them out of pain. To me, if you can get somebody out of pain in 1 minute with Ice Wave, they're going to be a lot more interested and more likely to want to use X39 because they already know that, wow, these patches work. So I wouldn't hesitate to use Ice Wave when a person's in pain. I wouldn't wait for a month on X39. And the others, again, it really depends. Now, especially with Nirvana, if somebody's having a low mood and that's really an issue, I would say both. I would tell the person that they really should do both at the same time. I've had amazing results with SP6 in 1 day and women with hot flashes. So, similar to Ice Wave, it can work very, very fast. And what I love about SP6 especially, I've used it with women who are in remission from breast cancer and they're on estrogen blockers. And, if you know somebody who's done that, that usually comes with horrible hot flashes. And since this is not a medication, it's not a hormone, it's safe to use. And being able to give those women relief in a safe way, I would do that and not wait for a month on X39 as well.
Yeah, if typically people start with just X39 unless there's some serious conditions.
Yeah.
And then you want to get the best benefit possible, don't you?
Yeah. So, it depends how severe is the problem, and how desperate are they for some relief.
Great. Okay, we got a few more, and let's see. Jim is saying, what would you do for chronic numbness in the feet that's not caused by that D disease?
I would go to a good chiropractor and get adjusted, your pelvis. And I would use X39, and I would use energy enhancer patches on the bottom of your feet.
On kidney one?
Yep, on the kidney one point on the bottom of your feet. Right white, tan left,
Okay.
one on
thank
each
you.
foot.
Yeah. One of our doctors is a acupuncture physician, and energy enhancer on kidney one is foundational for everything for him because we need energy for everything to work.
Yes.
And on kidney one, it goes through the whole body. So thank
Yeah.
you. That's great.
So let me share one other testimonial from one of my patients who couldn't feel the bottom of her feet for 12 years. 12 years, she could not feel the bottom of her feet.
Wow.
And after 1 month on X39, she could feel half of one foot on the bottom and was starting to feel the bottom of her other foot after just
Oh
1
my.
month. So X39 for sure. And I think it took 6 months before she kind of got maximum sensation back. It wasn't 100% back, but she went from not being able to feel the bottom half of her feet to feeling one and half of the other one.
Oh my gosh. That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And that was going on for a very long time. And we hear
Yeah.
stories like this regularly. People that
Right.
have dealt with
Yeah.
things for decades can
Right.
actually.
That was a 12-year issue. And in 6 months with X39, she had that result.
Wow. Well, that's fabulous. Okay, I guess this might be the final one. It's oh no, we got two more. Okay, and then we'll call it a night. Do you know what would cause joints to hurt while using the X39 patches?
I have an idea. And I mentioned this a little earlier. When you start to accumulate more stem cells that can then go replace damaged cells, those damaged cells don't just magically disappear. They're moved off. They're removed and sloughed off into that joint space. So now there's more debris in the joint space that your lymphatic system has to come and clean up. Your white blood cells are going to come and eat some up. But it takes some time for those sloughed off dead cells, damaged cells, to be cleaned out and moved out. So after that process is over, the joint pain should really resolve and start to feel much better.
Beautiful.
And how long that takes is going to, it varies. It's going to differ with every different person.
Great. So Heidi, who reached out before, she said, yes, SP6 for their food cravings and IceWave for the pain from carrying weight over 300 pounds, and Nirvana for mood and depression from food comforts. So thank you, Heidi, for sharing all that. Well, oh my goodness, it is time to complete, everybody. So this is our last call before Thanksgiving. I want to thank, I'm just so grateful for you, Dr. Barbara, and all of our practitioners, and this wonderful company that helps people, get hope and change lives. So I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here with us. Thank you, Dr. Barbara. And if you're a guest on this call, please get back to the person that invited you, and we invite you to get started. There is no risk. The patches do come with a 30-day risk-free guarantee. And there's a wonderful customer program. If you're the kind of person that likes to share, there's a very generous compensation program also to become a brand partner and help us spread the good news, because we need voices. We need you to let the word out. So everyone have a really, really wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. There's so much to be grateful for. I know there's people from other countries than the US, and it's a big holiday here in the US, and Canada already had their Thanksgiving, but it's a big deal for us here. So thank you, everyone, for being with us. Thank you, Gregory, for your great presentation. And let me see if there's anything in the chat that we need to know. Just a lot of thank yous. And Ravel, my favorite Canadian gal from Heidi. Yes, that's one. We have just such a fabulous community, and we invite you to join us because we're having a great time changing lives together. So thank you, everybody, and we will say good night.
Mhm. All right, good night.